konting mungkahi. Opo, kasi madalas po akong nasa Europe eh. Opo. Doon po talaga bisikleta talaga ang ginagamit. Pero sila po may mga rules eh. Meron silang sinusunod na hindi ka pwedeng basta sumakay ng bisikleta, basta ka humarurot doon, eh talagang mga aksidente ka. O meron po talaga silang sinusunod. Pati mga hand signal, pati lahat po yun. No? Hindi lang basta lane. Basta ikaw, nagbisikleta, kailangan sumusunod ka. Pwede po bang magkaroon din tayo ng ganun dito sa Pilipinas na yung ating pong mga nagbibisikleta? Hindi, yung iba po kasi marunong talaga. Pero yung iba, ako po naka-experience talaga eh dito sa Quezon Boulevard eh. Kasi diyan, 'di ba, nandun din kasama mo yung nagbibisikleta doon sa kalsada. Pakanan ka doon. Eh talaga pong wala talaga kompleno. Talagang dire-diretso. Yun po lang sana, no? Sana magkaroon po mula po sa inyong opisina ng konting pag-aaral doon sa ibang nagbibisikleta. At doon din po sa nag-drive. Kasi sa Europe po, pareho silang alam nila eh. Alam nila yung rules nila. Yun lang po, kasi ako medyo natatakot din eh, minsan eh. Medyo talagang may mga nagbibisikleta din. At meron din nagda-drive din po sa atin na talaga namang wala din talagang disiplina. Kaya minsan nauuwi sa nag-aaway sa kalsada.
Yes, Your Honor. Gagawin po natin yon. So, with that po, ang nakikita ho natin dito is we have to have a limit po on the age po ng drivers ng EPMD. And of course, yung helmet use, and of course, yung signs po, tama po yun. Uh, Baka ho kailangan din na isama po namin sa aming recommendation sa guidelines yung limited hours po ng paggamit ng EPMDs sa daan. And all of this will be taken into consideration po ng department. Like po dun sa baka ho kailangan din. We believe kailangan din pagka dumami na ho ito is yung uh, kailangan ho ng registration, and of course baka yung lisensya ho ng drivers nitong ating EPMDs, no? So doon ho sa Japan kasi yung EPMD po is uh, are treated like motorcycles. Opo. So ano ho?
Din yung best practices
Yes po.
in different countries. That's the beauty naman pag may ibang patagal nang gumagawa nun. We can also see what helps, and we also don't intend it to be a hindrance, diba? So we want to keep it simple, but if necessary to have more precautionary steps, then we have to do it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And ma'am, I'll go to the second point. Next point. Yung funding po, we'll just like to inform the committee na ang nakalagay po doon kasi is the use of po, sa MBUC, yung road support fund. So ang naka-earmark po kasi doon sa road support fund is for use po ng maintenance and repair po ng national and secondary roads and drainages. So baka ho magkaroon ng misinterpretation or kailangan hong i-clear, i-amend po natin yung paggamit po ng road support fund. So that's the second point po, Madam
But
Chair.
that's precisely what we intend. That's why it's there. So we're not planning to create confusion. We're saying that pwedeng source yun. So you let us know if that's a problem, because saan pa kami if we are committed to changing this environment, then we also have to be able to have infrastructure that supports it. So yun yung pagkukunan ng pondo. Isa yan sa pagkukunan ng pondo.
Ma'am, yun lang ma'am yung sa pagka-earmark lang po. We just want it to be clear na it will be used also for the active transport na infrastructure.
You support.
Yes, ma'am. We
Okay.
support. We support.
Okay, thank
Yes.
you.
And on the third point po, yung sa reportorial requirements, it's connected lang po dun sa yung sa first point namin na it will be a great challenge po kasi if we have to if we will monitor po and yung reporting po ng paggamit ng EPMDs. So kaya ho, sinabi ko na it's connected to the first is because we might need to uh, ask or require the drivers to uh, register the APMDs and yun pong licensing po ng ating mga drivers. That would be all, Madam Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the support, and we look forward to working with you closer on this. Thank you. Kasi very vital kayo, DOTR. Thank you. Okay, so we'll call on Yusek Eric Ayapana of the Department of Public Works and Highways. Yusek, you have the
Yes,
floor.
thank you, Madam Chair, and of course, Senator Padilla. Good afternoon. On the part of the DPWH, we are strongly supporting the bills that are in the Senate. And as a matter of fact, DPWH is during the pandemic, we started utilizing the funds from the DOTR and implementing some bike lanes all across the country. NCR, Davao, Cebu, to name the few. And we already formulated the design of the proposed bike lane, and the LGU can also use it. That is embodied in Department Order 263. I think that was 2021. So it is already in the website of the PWH, and I say it is evolving because some our partners in the OTR, they are proposing some revisions based on the previous experiences during our implementation. So of course, I would like also to add that TPWH in its mandate in construction of the national roads and bridges, we are mandated to also include in our design in the construction of national roads some portion for bike lane if it is feasible. So I think that is all, ma'am, and DPWH is fully supporting the bill that has been filed in the Senate. Thank you very much.
So I'll do a survey among everyone here, staff included, senators, everyone. Who wants to divert funding from anomalous flood control to active transportation infrastructure? Raise your hand. Okay? Okay, nun nyo ba ng picture yan? Kayo, sumagot ba kayo? Staff ko to. Sumagot ba kayo? Okay, so pakisabi kay Secretary Vince, by the way, congratulations well, congratulations and all the best. Pakisabi na yan ang recommendation ko na kasi alam naman natin sinabi na ng lahat magtatanggalin natin yung pondo from those anomalous flood control projects, and of course there are many good projects including education, classrooms, lahat din tayo nagkakaisa doon. Pwede na malagay ng portion for active transportation. Paki-relay po.
I will, ma'am.
Thank you.
I will po.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Let's move on. Yusek, Rose, you wanted to say something.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Actually, in your previous bill, yung Safe Pathways Act, we already submitted our statement of support for that. In fact, I also would like to share that in the previous administration, we did two studies looking at the walkability ng Davao and then the pedestrianization, where our objective really is to come up with some sort of a template for LGUs to use in case they want to make certain portions of their city walkable. So I'm glad that DPWH is here. Na sana nga yung design of the roads, even farm to market roads, if it can already have provision for pedestrians, kasi usually
and
mga
to be
bata.
clear, it doesn't even have to be, we don't have to cement everything right away. It just has to be a compact dirt road. That's good enough for now. Of course, heavy rains we might have, but it's better that we start somewhere, the provisions.
That's correct. Pero we also want to flag that there's a devolution transition plan, and one of the things that is being eyed for devolution is really the traffic management. So baka dapat ma-touch din yun sa proposed bill, because a lot of this will actually be within the mandate of the LGUs. Yun lang po, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Okay, so let's move on. Attorney Larrazabal, you have the floor. Attorney Larrazabal represents the Bicicleta Pilipinas Coalition.
Good afternoon, Chairwoman, and afternoon, Senator Padilla. Um, we fully support the pending bills. We just like to take note of some uh, aspects of the bills which we would like more emphasis on. This includes end of trip facilities. Uh, it is in the bills, but I think as in with other countries, there has to be a more uniform standard of what facilities are for to be used by cyclists. This will incentivize the people to actually ride a bicycle to the mall or to work. Um, and in some companies in other countries, they actually provide incentives to companies and employees to use their bicycles. So, for example, one company, Chris King, um, they give meal coupons for people who ride their bike to work, and some companies get tax benefits uh, if a number of employees ride their bicycles to work.
I want to comment on that. So during the pandemic, my daughter's teammates lived with us, mga UP football players. And so two of them, including my daughter, graduated online during the pandemic. And then one of them later on, when she already graduated, looked for a job. The pandemic was over; he could go in and out. She actually found a job in Alabang near my house, so she continues to stay with me. She still stays with me, and so I let her use the scooter. We have a electric scooter. So she was happily using the electric scooter. Her job was just like 1.5 kilometers away from the house. She could walk it, but electric scooter is more convenient. And then the building banned the use of electric scooter. You can't bring up the electric scooter in the elevator. And I'm like, what a stupid rule is that? And then now I moved houses, so I'm 4 kilometers further. So how can she walk that? 1.5 is walkable, but 5 kilometers at night might not be that convenient, no? So you're right. So much education that we need to do to they don't even have to incentivize it because she's already incentivized to use it. They just have to allow her to use that electric bike.
Yes, in fact, many companies
Sorry, scooter.
scooters. In fact, Your Honor, a lot of companies don't realize that allowing people to use scooters minimizes the number of parking spaces they require for the employees, etc. Diba? So it helps them. Um, Aside from this, we would like to emphasize that how do you retrofit uh, bike lanes into current facilities or infrastructure, especially bridges. Like, for example, the bridge in Makati from Mandaluyong to Rockwell, you can't bike there because at the end of the bridge heading to Australia, it stops. It stops, and you have to walk down. So if you have a bicycle, it's difficult to bring that. So it doesn't encourage people to ride a bicycle. So sayang eh.
Even little things, I'm addressing Yusek Ayapana. Even like the drainage facilities, the drainage, if it's not bike friendly, they can be these really huge bars.
Yeah.
And if you're on a road bike, your tire will like literally fall in that. So I had to master the art of crossing perpendicular to those drainage. So again, it takes time. You won't be able to achieve this overnight, but it's that consciousness, no? And the bill can only say so much. We can just have the general principles that let it be bike friendly. But unless you have bikers, and that's why I'm so excited that Secretary Vince Dizon, that will be his contribution there too, is that then you know that these are the problems. Because who would think of that? Like maybe Attorney Larazabal, who's a better biker than me, that's not his problem. He'll probably just jump over that thing. But with me, I'm so scared now. I'm like, there's a drainage, how am I going to go across this thing? And you can't really be as perpendicular as you want to be because I might run into the opposite, the incoming traffic. So this like really practical things that we have to address.
That's correct, Your Honor. And you're a better cyclist than me. I'd like to emphasize that.
Maybe faster, but not better.
Um, there are other things that can be implemented through policies, like Senator Padilla mentioned in other countries. Um, Cyclists follow rules, traffic rules and regulations. In many places in the Philippines, personal experience, aside from not ride using a aside from using a bicycle without lights at night, I've seen many cyclists, unfortunately, even in stoplight, they diretso sila. So the discipline has to be not only encouraging motorists to follow or respect cyclists, but also for cyclists to respect traffic rules and regulations. It's a two-way traffic. So this can be implemented probably through policies in the DOTR, the DPWH, and DepEd, educating people, and from the part of the motorist, probably including two policies in securing a driver's license. So especially in, I think, category D, C, and D, uh, where they specifically drive heavy equipment and buses and trucks. They have to take note of the respect for cyclists. Um, with regards, we can submit a position paper, this, Your Honor, but regards also the EPMDs, or there has to be uh, clear-cut guidelines as to, for example, if you require licenses for them, that's good, but there are different levels of EPMDs, which include speed limiters. How do you deal with that? If you require them to use a helmet, what safety standards of the helmet do they use? Do you use a bicycle helmet or use a full face helmet for bicycles, or scooter helmet, or the full face motorcycle helmet? So that's it so far, Your Honor. Chair, we can submit.
And for the record, Attorney Larzabal, I think was participated in the last two bills that we already passed. So all your other comments, which were longer then, because it's the first time we were taking it up, all form part of the record.
Thank you, Your
So
Honor.
thank you so much for that. So I'm now excited to call on Attorney Tony Oposa, one of my mentors, environmentalist, active mobility advocate, Ramon Magsaysay awardee. Please, Attorney Oposa, you have the floor.
Magandang hapon, Senator Panyera Pia, Robin Padilla. Ngayon lang kita nakilala at taga USIC sa DOTR, si Jimmy Bautista, kaibigan ko pa. Kasi kwento ko sa inyo mamaya. And then, we are here because we are fellow dreamers. As early as 2014, nag-file kami ng kaso na ulitin yung karsada, road sharing, the road sharing idea. Tapos si Senator Pia Cayetano, nag-hearing pa kami dito, ang saya. Tapos, congratulations to all of you. Congratulations to all of you, because the seed that was planted, the seemingly impossible seed that was planted more than 10 years ago, ngayon, meron ng bike lanes. Congratulations, ha? And then in honor of Pia, and nagkataon pa, nandito pa kayo, mga big time kayo. Ako, I'm just an ordinary citizen. In your honor, it is said that sitting too long is the new smoking. Masama daw. So ngayon, in your honor, I will ask everybody to together stand up. And not only that, the science of psychology says that when people together sing, they create happy bonding. And we are here because we are fellow dreamers. So in honor of Panyera Pia, sige. And then, pakisara ng ilaw para hindi mahiya. At saka huwag na kayong mahuya-hiya kumanta. Alam nyo naman tong kanta na to. Because, and besides, we are Filipinos, and music is in our blood and in our bones. Nasa dugo natin. So ito, pakisara ilaw, pakantahin mo sila. Pakisara mo. Audio.
Ayos yun, attorney ah.
Doon na sa slide. Hindi, wala na
Before you continue, Attorney Oposa,
yung ano na, doon na sa slide. Yeah, ready na.
before you continue,
O, sige.
tingin ko nagkonsyaba kayo eh. Kasi di naman to nag-attend ng hearing ko last week. Kayo nandito, may taga-kanta.
Kayo.
Nagkonsyaba kayo. But anyway, everyone, those are artwork of Attorney Oposa also. For those of you who don't know, beautiful. That's his artwork. And I wanted to say, I didn't even know his next slide is on flooding. But I wanted to share, with all the flooding that has happened, except the really, really bad ones, and they've been bad lately, there's flooding in other parts of Metro Manila, and I would call my sister-in-law, the mayor of Taguig City, and say, "Oh, I'll visit the evacuation center." And for how many years she would tell me, "Ate, we don't have any people in the evacuation centers because we've already been able to address it." Grabe yung tinuro ni Attorney Oposa. Yung i-follow lang yung natural stream ng water, tanggalin yung mga nakabara dyan para the water will have a normal path and have a place for it to settle. Sinundan niya yon. I just wanted to let you know, to share with everyone na ang laking bagay nun. Of course, marami ding ibang interventions, pero yun yung kinuwento niya sa akin na napaka-effective. Sa Tinde, ngayon meron, pero the good news also, if they do go to the evacuation center, because like you said, preemptive yan eh, they're able to go home right away. So anyway, the floor is yours. I just wanted to share that.
Oo, at saka yung hindi lang yun siya nakinig sa sister niya, si Senyo, nag-organize pa siya ng event. Si Senator Pia, nag-organize siya sa DOST. Alala mo yan? Tapos nagpahukay siya ng maraming tao nagpahukay, tinawag niya yung DOST secretary, tapos nagpahukay sila yung simple solution. Papakita ko sa inyo yung pababa, tapos kasama pa namin si Babe Singson. Off the record
Si Secretary Vince, imbitahin din natin magganyan.
sana si Babe Singson. Si Babe Singson, si Kuan sa DPWH. Tapos ito off the record. Pero totoo ito kahit off the record, pero totoo ito kahit masasabi, habang naghuhukay kayo doon, nag-usap kami ni Babe Singson. Sabi niya, tama ito. Sama ito, pakita ko sa inyo yung solusyon. Tama ito. Pero alam mo, sa mga engineer sa DPWH, gusto lang nila lagi may simento eh. Sabi ko, yun siguro. Yun yung nangyayari ngayon. Yun ang nangyayari ngayon. So, what is the solution?
I'm glad that Yusek Edilion is here because these are things that you can share. Because this is manpower that will create the jobs. Very low skill required to be digging this, create the jobs. Because my part one of my hearing, Attorney Oposa, was on the SDGs. And SDG 1, which is on poverty, we are still not on track there, and we have to create more jobs. So
Yes.
this is simple.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect solution. And so, for example, yung internet ko, dali. Okay. Ano ba? What is the solution to flooding? Is it more multi-billion, billion na project? Or simple solution lang? Ano simple solution? Sino mga engineer? Ako, abogado lang naman ako. Pero kayo mga engineer, what is the simple solution? It is called the rainwater catchment. Di ba? At saka hindi ko bola yan. Noong 2010, mga estudyante ko sa UP Law, dinimanda pa namin yung gobyerno, DPWH at saka DILG para i-implement kasi yung pala nalaman ko, may batas pala yan as early as March 1989, may batas that every barangay must have a rainwater catchment. Yun yung nakwento ko kay Senator Pia noon. Ganun lang kasimple. Tapos, ito naman yung pinag-uusapan natin, matagal na. Ano ba solusyon ng traffic? At saka, anong tawag dyan? Hindi air pollution. Why is it air poisoning? Yung sinong huhinga dyan sa tambutso ng kotse, di ba, in 3 minutes, patay agad. It's a poisoning. And we're not poisoning the air by one vehicle. We're poisoning it with millions and millions. So, ano solusyon? Ano solusyon? Is it more karsada, palakihan ng karsada? Tapos or more, can you read that? Infernal. Kasi nagiging impyerno ang kalibutan. Or is it to change the transportation system from individual that is defective to and that is traffic congestive, yan ang itsura, or to change it to a collective. So, kinuha ko yan ng picture doon sa airport. Idea ko lang na pinagdugtong ko lang, pina-PowerPoint ko na isang sasakyan lang pwedeng. At tapos si Secretary Babe Singson nagsabi pa niyan, arterial bus pala tawag niyan, yung dugtong-dugtong lang, isang makina lang, daming ano. Tapos yung pala nagkataon naman na nagkaroon ng taong may puso na DOST secretary, nagkataon gumawa pa sila ng ganyan. Tapos dinemonstrate pa namin yan sa isang umaga, pinasara nila ng yung Rojas Boulevard na road sharing talaga sa gitna, ganun ang idea. Tapos sa gilid, Manila Bay, lakad, tapos may bike lane. So it was just an example of what can be done para ma-excite, ma-inspire yung mga tao. Tapos hindi lang yon, meron pa ako yung modernized jeepney, nag-aaway pa kayo. Pwede naman idugtong-dugtong lang yung mga jeepney. Ganun lang, isang makina lang, isang linya lang. Tapos meron pang inimbento dati na yung Genius na sa Palawan na following the principle of the ant, a pedal-powered mini train. Yan hindi bola yan, picture yan, totoo picture yan. Tapos pinagpedal, kasi birthday ni Ed Hagedorn, celebration namin, tapos inimbita pa namin yung nasa likod, ang nagpipedal yan, hindi ordinaryong tao, Department of Tourism Secretary, sa kanan. Tapos yung sa kaliwa, sino? Tingnan nyo kung sinong itsura niyan. Kasama mo dito, si Loren Ligarda. Yan sa likod, sila pang nagpedal. Tapos yung nasa gitna, si Gina Lopez at saka ambassador ng Dutch, tapos si Ed Hagedorn. Tapos, it was proven that with two people pedaling, kasi may rail Kayong mga engineer, pag may rail tapos hindi pa yan metal, that's fiberglass that can made out of used plastic molded into sasakyan. Yan, sustainable development, di ba? Tapos, it was proven that two people pedaling, kung naka-rail, kasi smooth, can carry as many as 30 people. So, 6 people pedaling can carry as many as 100 people or even more. Naka-exercise pa kayo. Di ba naka-exercise pa? So, si Jimmy Bautista, alam na nito, sabi niya, yung gusto na niya i-implement yung binigyan pa sila ng honorary Normandy Honor for Peace. Gusto niya na i-implement yung arterial ginawa ng, at saka hindi bola yan, kung anong gumawa ang DOST, meron palang ganyan DOST. Tapos may ginawa pa na solar-powered mini train. As early as 2011, yung inilaunch yung the road sharing movement doon sa Cebu. Pinasara namin yung buong mula Capitol hanggang tapos naglalakad lang mga tao, yung mga nakabisikleta. Tapos so people can see how beautiful it is nga walang sasakyan, tapos naglalakad lang mga tao, yung mga nakabisikleta. Tapos ito, it was called the Filipino Secret, a self-contained renewable energy transport. O yung gano'n, may solar, yun ang nag-generate. 2011 pa yan. Tapos habang umaandar, merong wind power na nag-generate din ng baterya. Tapos here's a very simple example. How many, if you stand up, how much space do you occupy? You occupy 1/8 of a square meter. Kung nakaupo tayo, 1/4 of a square meter. Pero kung nakasasakyan, 12 to 15 square meters. Tapos parking lot pa lang, 15 square meters na. Bakit ganyan? Do you know that there is a scientific finding that 15 square meters, agricultural evidence, 15 square meters, if well planted with food garden, it can feed an entire family for the whole year. Tapos ginagamit na ng parking. Yung mga buang talaga Pilipino, buang talaga tao, hindi lang Pilipino. Ito, tinan mo, nakaparada lang. Nakaparada lang, wasting so much space. I will not tell you where it is. Tapos katabi, merong daanan. You know, I will tell you later where it is. But there was this idea na drawing nila na ito, imbis yung parking lot, nasa kanan, wide walkway lang. Tapos, yung mga open space, gagawing edible landscape. Lagyan ng kangkong, kamuti, at saka malunggay. Tapos, may wide walkway din. Tapos, rail-based transport lang ang kahit pala, yung bisikleta, wheelchair, pwedeng ilagay sa rail-based. Kayo mga engineer, alam nyo yan. Tapos kahit nga daw bisikleta, pwede pa lang ilagay sa ganun. So, yan ang sinasabing principle of the ant. Kasi ang mga langgam, walang traffic kasi nakaisang linya lang sila. That's the principle of the busway carousel now. That was implemented long time ago. And nobody knows whose idea that is. Sige, yun lang. And then, again, congratulations. What a wonderful world. Oo.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
Actually,
oh,
when I have hearings that last longer than 2 hours, I really tell people to stand up. That's my standard. In fact, I usually announce that SOP in my hearings is reusable glasses. Do not bring your plastic pet. Bawal yan. And then stand up whenever you need to. No need to ask permission. Pero first time lang na nagpakanta pa. So, yun, hindi kasama yun dun sa mobility exercise. Yung vocal cords yung naano dyan. Masaya naman. Happy hormones. So, thank you for that. Attorney Oposa, always amazing presentation, very inspirational from you. May I get any quick comments from anyone else? Because I do have to wrap this up in the next 5 minutes. Please go ahead, Mr. Aguion.
Madam Chair, we support the development of the policy. Maybe just few points. Rationalizing bike lanes as part of the urban mobility and open space. The idea is it's an open space, a public service, and therefore it should be part of the city planning. Therefore, we're looking on how also the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development can work with DOTR, DPWH in defining these pathways, this network. And the idea actually is cultural because you're changing mindset. And therefore, it's a representation later on of how people perceive the space. So that's space making, that space development. And the idea of from previously tactical urbanism to institutionalizing the actual demands, the legitimate demands of the people for travel is very welcome in our development, especially on the secondary and those cities that still have rooms for applying the new standards that we will have developed with DPWH and DOTR. And I think that's a very good presentation from Attorney Oposa that we do not see the bike lanes or the pathways outside the higher level of urban planning and space development. It should always be integrated, responsive to it. We have the idea of transit-oriented development, how bike lanes transport people to mass transit spaces, and how also these pathways facilitate mobility for those who opt to do that. So this is a welcome. We will support this. We will be giving our comments into writing on later time. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Everyone's participation is highly appreciated. As I've told you, this bill has already passed on third reading in the Senate, but there may be new ideas. We're very happy to incorporate. Whether we will have a technical working group or not will depend on how many comments you all have. We can just have a small meeting. In any case, what I will do is ask you, let us know, like if you can give your comments within 1 week, because I can defend this on the floor immediately if there are minor or no comments. But my staff will be open to everyone who wants to provide additional input. So very exciting. I'm looking forward to this being a reality, especially really with Secretary Dizon at the forefront, understanding the importance of all this. So our hearing is hereby suspended, and I hope to see you in my future hearings. Please come with another song. But we can use the same song. It's very inspirational, so no need naman. Can be the same song. Thank you. Thank you. Na Tony.
Ay out there at maaring nakakalampas kahit sa mga best efforts nyo so far. So salamat po sa PLDT. And is Converge here as well?
Yes, Madam Chairperson. Attorney Salud for Converge.
Salamat.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Attorney Salud. So same questions po. How long on average does it take you to block a URL or a website reported by victim survivors or law enforcement?
Ma'am, the system that we follow, as agreed upon with all the stakeholders in the telco industry, no? Meaning the DICT, the NTC, and our law enforcement agencies, is that all complaints will be coursed through our supervisory agency, which is the National NTC, no? National Telecommunications Commission. Upon which Converge, internet service provider, we take down any kind of malicious material sent to us by NTC within 24 hours, ma'am. And we also, as agreed upon, submit a certification of the blocking of the websites and the URLs and the contents sent to us by DICT and NTC.
Salamat, Attorney. Do both PLDT and Globe also submit that certification?
As far as I know, yes, ma'am.
Sorry, I didn't mean to ask you, sir, but the two other companies.
That's the common practice. And
So it's an industry practice.
yes, ma'am,
the
and
other
that
two
has been going on
nodding
for
their head.
the last few years.
All right, sir. That's good to know po. Notification applications, may na-block na po ba kayong o na-restricta ng access?
I cannot
sa
give you the
on-
figures at this time. What I'm prepared to tell you is that we can submit to this committee the certifications that we have filed with the NTC pursuant to the directive to block URLs and malicious content websites.
Please do, Attorney Salud. And have all three companies, any or all or some of the three companies also have had experience blocking or restricting access to non-consensual sexual materials?
Ma'am, I saw your bill, ma'am, no? And Senator Jinggoy. My comment there is non-consensual or even consensual, if it's put online and the participants have a change in heart or a change of mind and they want to take it down, they ought to be taken down, ma'am. And in the first place, that's malicious, it's harmful, and it's sexually related. Has no business being online.
Thank you, Attorney Salud. And especially if it was non-consensual from the start.
Yes,
as in the
ma'am.
case of Queen Hera's child, as in the case of Miss Angel, and who knows how many other women and parents of children who haven't felt encouraged yet to come forward and speak up. So the committee really thanks Ms. Angel and Queen Hera for this. Yes, Attorney Salud.
Madam Chairperson, on behalf of the telcos, no, maybe this committee can consider inserting a free and harmless clause to protect telcos. Huh? Having laid out the system that the industry follows in trying to combat malicious content online, a safe harbor clause or a free and harmless clause in favor of the telcos and ISPs, will quickly and swiftly facilitate the process of taking down, blocking, and removing malicious content online.
Very well taken. Very well noted.
Thank
Attorney
you, ma'am.
Salud, especially for kung technical working group po tayo. Salamat po para doon. Yes, Senator. Oh, I'm sorry. Yusek
Madam
Sanaria.
Chairperson, and Mr. Senator, I would like to reiterate that the ICT is giving their all-out support for the recommendation of the telcos. They have raised this issue in their initial meetings earlier this year, and because they have been so cooperative in blocking the URLs that we have been NTC has been giving them every month, we fully support their recommendation, Your Honor.
Thank you, Yusek. Yes, Senator Sherwin.
It's a question to the ICT. When the chairperson and I were investigating POGOs, the original sin was the SIM cards, no? Especially those SIM cards. The SIM cards are original, no? They're legitimate, but the identification is fake.
Right.
So, diba, there's one hearing that we demonstrated pati unggoy nakakakuha ng SIM card.